Welcome to the channel, and welcome to this game of Warhammer the Old World. It's Wood Elves versus Dark Elves. Our battleground for today is this abandoned coastal settlement on the edge of a shale beach. Its previous occupants having abandoned it after being raided by the forces of Nagrond once too often, and the forest has begun to reclaim it. And as the Dark Elf raiding party draws close, they notice it being abandoned, it being overgrown. It was only a blink of an eye since they were here last, but in a human lifetime, the blink of an elven eye is decades. And on drawing closer, the Dark Elves notice an unwelcome sight. Their forest kin. There is no love lost between these two races. Battle is joined. So we are playing 1,000 points. Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. We're playing open battle, so we're going to line up on either side of the board and attempt to brutally murder each other. We've got some combo terrain here. We are treating these big overgrown ruins as combination woodland/linear obstacles. So might be a little bit of ducking in and out of these, blocking some lines of sight. And the reason for going a little bit heavier on the line of sight blocking on this table than one would normally for Old World is because we've both got quite shooty armies. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if no combat happens and we just shoot at each other and run away from a long distance. And I'm joined on the channel today by Wolf Corgi. Say hi, Wolf Corgi!
Hi, Wolf Corgi.
So, Wood Elves.
Yeah.
This came about in a strange and unusual way, did it not?
Well, yeah, it's probably not unique, but yes, I had a Cities of Sigmar army for 3rd edition. Yeah, that's edition.
Yeah, it was before. It was off the 2nd edition Battle Tome that we were playing in 3rd edition before they redid it towards the end of 3rd edition.
Yeah, I had a great idea. What I'd do is I would do the Living City, which at the time allowed you to mix humans, dwarves, wood elves, and trees,
and Stormcast,
and Stormcast, and I had a little bit of all of those.
It was a lovely, lovely concept army.
And then it absolutely died when they changed it to the new Battle Tome. Most of the wood elf stuff was no longer usable, so it sat in the loft for a while until Old World came along, and then rebased is going too far. I got round to square converters, and it's now my Old World army.
Yeah, because we had an interesting conversation, didn't we? I said, "Oh yeah, I know you've got some of those wood elves." He said, "I wonder how much you've actually got," and we sort of punched it all in. Hey, you got 1,000 points. Like, yes, win. So. Because it's very specific stuff you've got, and it's a low points game, we've tried to make sure we've shared our list with each other in advance to make sure we've got some things that we think balance, and then you've got a couple of bits to make yours up to fully 1,000. You got some eagles, if I remember rightly.
I've got which apparently I've now found out a very common hack that people do, which is I've got the Lord of the Rings eagles, which are plastic and about half the price of the lead. And
they look really good as well. Yeah. They look really good.
Yeah, much nicer models.
Yeah. So, 1,000 point Wood Elves against 1,000 point Dark Elves. Oh, I suppose I should say, yeah, Dark Elves. But people don't know how I've randomly acquired Dark Elves. So, I'll explain when I point the camera at them. So here we have 1,000 points of Dark Elves. So, the story of this army, before I go through any of the interesting detail for the game. I played it in Fantasy Battle, and I had about 1,500 points painted, but I had several thousand points bought and on the shelf. It was my primary army, and I was working my way through it when Fantasy Battle got canned. And when coming up to... And it was actually you doing Wood Elves that was a catalyst for me doing Dark Elves, because I thought I can't, cause I'd also had a game relatively recently against Sultan with his Lizardmen, and I thought I can't keep doing goodies versus goodies. I know there's always a scenario that allows for it, But I can't have every game being, and they insulted my mother 3 generations ago, therefore I slapped them in the face with a glove and have at it. So I thought, right, I need some baddies. And I wanted my route to getting an army of baddies fastest. And I have got some Warriors of Chaos and be supplementing them with some Beasts of Chaos. And I thought, but yeah, to get to 1,000 points, that's just a longer lead time. What was a much quicker lead time was to get converters for these bases and convert my Dark Elf army up. And then I kind of got the bug and I painted a bunch of new stuff. Some of these are new. This unit's bigger than it was. The Harpies I had but weren't painted. That's a Reaper Bolt Thrower that's quite new. This unit was smaller. I've fleshed this out. And I've also got a bunch of other stuff on the shelf I haven't used yet. I've got some Cold Ones. I've got a Manticore with a Beastmaster on it and a big unit of Witches and all sorts. So I'm kind of going to be doing some more with my Dark Elves, I think. I don't know. I keep toying with the idea of doing an army overview video and talking through it. If you like the idea of that, drop a comment in the description. If enough people are interested, I will do an overview of where I'm at with my these things. But speaking Dark Elves, that's the word. But speaking of which, I can go through what I've got. So this is a unit of 24 crossbowmen. No, they're crossbowmen. They're spearmen. Thank you. The Black Guard, I believe they're technically called. 1 minute. I knew that wasn't quite right. These are City Guard with I want to say thrusting spears. Have I got that right? Is it thrusting spears? Yep, thrusting spears, so they can fight in ranks if they get charged and all that good stuff. So there's a block of 24 of those. They have Elven Reflexes, which I think pretty much every model on the table is going to have that this time, because it's common across both our armies. Yeah. In the first round of combat, we get +1 on initiative, so basically going to cancel out. There will be some units that are not affected. The Harpies don't have it. The mounts and the horses don't have it. I imagine the mounts for some of your guys it doesn't apply to. Don't know. We'll find out when we get to that point. They also have martial prowess, which means if they get charged they can make supporting attacks from the sides or the rear if they need to. So they're a bit more versatile, which is why I'm happy they are kitted out with spears. They're full commands. They've got a Lordling, Banner Bearer, and Musician. Then we have a unit of 16 City Guard with Repeater Crossbows. Again, Lordling, Banner, and Musician. So these crossbows are them multi-shot. That's probably not quite the right term. The rapid fire, 2 shots. They're 2 shots at -1 to hit if they choose to do that. So they're quite good at that. I'll go through the rules properly with them when I'm using them. Then over here we have some Black Ark Corsairs. These have got the hand weapon and the hand crossbow option, which are quick, so they can move and fire those without penalty. They're also multiple shots, but they're obviously shorter range. They've got the Sea Dragon cloaks, so they are +1 save when they are getting shot at. Got a unit of 5 Dark Riders. These are the patrols and the messengers between all the guard towers in the northern part of the Dark Elf domain, protecting from the Chaos Wastes. It's the realm of the sorcerers, and these guys are their messengers between their towers. The army is led by a sorcerer. She has nothing special. She's level 1. And she has dark magic and has the signature spell Doombolt. She's going to stand there and blow stuff up. She also has a special rule. Once per game, you can re-roll a failed spellcasting attempt with her. I paid for Fire and Flee with these guys, and also for Scouts. So these will deploy after the rest of my army. Then we have 10 harpies. These guys are skirmishers. They are scouts. They also fly, so they are going to be flying around and trying to flank the enemy. And then we have a Reaper bolt thrower, which is a multi-shot, slightly less strong bolt thrower war machine. And that is circa in fact, I think, was it 999 points, or it might be exactly 1,000 points. It's pretty close. And they are the Dark Elves. And here we have 1,000 points of Wood Elves. So we are looking at a block of 18 Eternal Guard. So these guys, it's a block of 18 to keep the points in, isn't it? That was points, for points. Standard Bearer, I was going to say Lordling, it's not Lordling. Eternal Warden and Musician. Oh yes, that's a horn. This one's got the horn. They have martial prowess, which is the same one I described before about being attacked in the sides and rear. Seems that's a fairly common elven ability. They are a nice big block of punchy spearmen. Then we have Glade Guard. 5 archers, 10 archers. They've all got Hagbane tips, arrows. That's so the weapons are all poisoned. Yeah. So 6s to hit will go straight to wound. Nice. These guys are open order, so they get to move pretty quickly. They get to turn after they've moved, which is super handy. We have here the Glade Lord, which is the top, the higher level of the 2 nobles, so they get the better stat line. Got 2 pieces of equipment, 2 magic items. One is a Sword of Might for a bit of extra punch, and the other is a Hail of Doom arrow. I remember the Hail of Doom arrow from back in the day. It was so cool. We were just talking off camera, and that's why Wolf Corgis picked it, just because of coolness and nostalgia. I've seen what it does. Yeah, it's a blast. If you hit, you put a blast template over the unit, and
okay, right.
Yeah. You fire the one magic arrow into the sky, and it turns into many magic arrows. He also has a really cool ability called the Arrow of Kurnos. I don't know if I am pronouncing that correctly. I often struggle with that word. It comes up in the Sylvaneth sometimes. The Arrow of Kurnos. So before the battle, you fire the arrow, the hunter's arrow into the sky, and it hits my general. Just bang, hits my general. And they take a single strength 3 hit with no armor saves permitted. Or regeneration saves. But if you do that, I get +1 to the first turn roll. So, slightly double-edged arrow. Then the easier ones are the 2 Great Eagles. These are just flying beasties. They've got their beak is multi-wound and armor bane, which is just they do 1 attack with, and then 1 each with the 2 claws. They can fly. They got stomp attacks. They're good value for their points. They're not great, but they're not terrible either. Good value. I got to make sure I protect my Reaper crossbow from these guys just flying over and eating it.
I think that's what they're for.
Yeah.
In the army.
And then, last but by no means least, we have the Sisters of the Thorn. So, these are... They've got all the tricks. So, they're fast cavalry, and they have Blackbriar javelins, which are quick shot and... what was it called? Basically, they can advance and fire with no penalty for either. No penalty for moving. 12-inch range, 1 shot each. So they could be quite nasty. They're open order, so they're quite manoeuvrable. They're also got the I want to say the Coven of the Forest. Hang on, let me check. Deepwood Coven, which basically makes the unit kind of like a wizard. They count as having a bound spell. Any one spell chosen from Elementalism or from Battle Magic. Wolf Corgi's chosen Wind Blast from Elementalism as a magic missile, which does D3 + 3 strength 5 hits and makes your enemy give ground. They also have the Daughters of Eternity rule, which gives them a 4+ ward, which is handy because they have no save to speak of. So super elite, super light cav. We have there's a lot of shooty here and a lot of high manoeuvre. My army's got a lot of shooty, a lot of high manoeuvre. Anything you can think of I've forgotten?
No, it's everything I know about it.
Okay, let's go on to deployment. So here we are after deployment. On the Dark Elf side of the table, we have the unit of City Guard with thrusting spears in the centre, with the Reaper Bolt Thrower, Sorceress, and City Guard with crossbows. As a kind of block over here. We have the Black Ark Corsairs sneaking around the flank, and then deploying as scouts, we have the 5 Dark Riders and the 10 Harpies. Of course, deploying as scouts, they will not be able to charge in the first turn of the game. The Wood Elf deployment, we have the Glade Guard? No. Eternal Guard, and the Lord in the centre of the table, with the two units of 5 Glade Guard either side, and one of the Great Eagles accompanying them. The Sisters of the Thorn flanking down the side, opting to go in a 4-wide formation to be able to fit down here and then potentially reform or redress the ranks later. And then over here, further foresting, we have the other 10 Eternal Guard and one of the Great Eagles. So, I have no idea how this is going to go. Seems really difficult to deploy for. I don't. It messes with my head, this game, but in a fun way. Okay, so you're not going to be firing your Kernoth arrow at me because you need line of sight for that. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah. And where your general is, where my general is, there is no line of sight. Because we're treating these as woodlands, they can't be seen through. Apart from that bit, we're treating that as a low linear. These are low linear obstacles and woodlands, but we're not treating that bit as a woodland, so it can be moved through without penalty because it's a low linear obstacle as opposed to this, which is a high linear obstacle. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. We need to dice off for first turn. Best of luck, sir. I get +1 because I deployed first, but you win with the 6. So you're going to take the first turn?
I will. I don't know if that's the right choice or not, but I will take the first turn.
Okie dokie. Wood Elf, turn 1. So we're at the end of the Wood Elf's movement phase. Over here, these Glade Guard have moved forward 5, not marched. Neither has that Great Eagle, getting positioned for later. These Glade Guard have stayed still, going to put some fire down, probably into the Dark Riders, see how many of those they can take out. Almost certainly enough to make me take a panic test. In the centre, the Eternal Guard have repositioned for future turns. They're clearly seeing a threat coming from this direction, and the Great Eagle moving up with them. These Glade Guard staying still for the shooting, and the Sisters of the Thorn marching all the way up here for position for next turn. So, speaking of shooting, where are we going to start?
We'll start with this unit into the Spearman.
Into the City Guard, okay. So, you stayed still, but you are more than 50%, you're over half range, so that's -1.
Ballistic skill 4 for most of them, and then 5 for the...
Okay, so do that one separately. So it's going to be -1 is forced to hit on the regular ones and 3 to hit on the others.
Yeah.
So that's 2 hits, both 2 are poison hits.
2 poisoned, yeah.
So they're going to go straight through to saves. And then strength 3, toughness 3, 4 saves. Any AP on that bow?
Just on this one, because it was a 6 to wound, it's Armour Bane.
6 to wound. Okay, so 1 Armour Bane, -1. So 5+ becoming 6+. Passed. 2 more at 5+. 2 failed. So 2 City Guard skewered. Now 5 Glade Guard into Dark Riders. Same again. 3s and 4s.
So again 2 poisoned.
Okay. And then 2 strength 3, toughness 3. So that's 3 saves. Again, 1 is Armour Bane. So that one that's Armour Bane kills because they only have light armour. and 2 more saves of 6+. Both fail. Kills 3 of them. Right, 2 remaining. Do I panic? Not sure. No, leadership 8. I do not panic. And that's Wood Elf turn 1.
Yep.
So you've taken out 5 of your dark-hearted kin who've come to invade your territory. And I have 2 units that I cannot charge with this turn, and a serious reduction in my run and gun. Okay, right, let's see what the Dark Elves can do on their turn 1. Right, the end of my movement phase, there have been no charges. So over here, we turn through 90 degrees with the crossbowman and move forward 2 inches so we can get some shots on the stags. The sorceress has moved backwards to attempt to doombolt the stags. The creeper crossbow has stayed still because it's in range of and can draw line of sight to this giant eagle. The city guard have marched forward to get out of the way of the crossbowman and get position for next turn. The dark riders have just moved. They've got a couple of shots they could put into a unit. Maybe, if I'm lucky, I can kill 2 of that unit with them and make them take a panic test. You never know. And the Black Ark Corsairs were too far off with their short-range handbows, so have marched for next turn. But the thing that gives me the most glee is the harpies marching, flying over like evil demon bats, and landing back here, ready for a next turn charge behind these guys, depending what they are able to do. What's quite crucial is the eagle is a close order unit, which means its facings are forward. The skirmishers behind, they're 360 facing, so they can charge in any direction, but the eagle unfortunately cannot. It can only charge forward. So positioning next turn is going to be a thing, when potentially these things might be up in their grill, so to speak. Okay, so we are on to shooting. So we're going to kick off by attempting to doombolt the stags. Doombolt casts on... Uh-oh. So just checking for a confusing, panicky moment, whether that was a miscast or an ultimate cast. It's the latter, so it cannot be dispelled. So no rolling to dispel. So Doombolt, place the template in the center of the unit, and any model touched is potentially hit on a 4+. Nothing is entirely under it, and that gets 4. So 4 hit on 4+. 3 hit. And they suffer a strength 3 hit with an AP of -2. They haven't got any armour anyway, so the AP is going to make no difference. Toughness 3, or are they 4 for the stags?
3.
Toughness 3, okay, so wounding on 4s. 2, you have wards of 4+.
Do. To make both.
Make them both. Okay, so nothing doing there. Okay, so 5 of them can draw line of sight to 1 or more of the stags and are within 24-inch range of the repeater crossbows. We're over 12-inch range, so that's -1 to hit. Multiple shots, which means double the dice, but another -1. So we're up to 5s to hit, and we moved, so we're on 6s to hit. So hitting on 6s. 2. Strength 3, toughness 3, wounding on 4s. 1 wound, ward save of 4, please, sir.
No.
Got 1. But not enough to make them panic. Now, the Reaper Bolt Thrower is a multi-shot D3+3 for a total of 5 shots. It's 48-inch range, so the Great Eagle is in range. More than half, and -1 again for multiple shots. So that's 5 shots hitting on 5s. 1 hit. Strength 4, toughness 4. No wounds. Okay, my range is not going so well. This is not going so well. My last attempt at trying to kill something at range. The 2 Dark Riders are going to fire at this unit of Glade Guard. They're also on 6s to hit because their repeater crossbows were at -3 for having moved and all that jazz. So 6s. 1. Strength 3, Toughness 3. No. Force to wound, rolled a 1. So that's it for Dark Elves. Turn 1. The stage is set for multiple little scenes to be acted out. What's going to happen over here with the stags and the crossbowmen and the sorcerer? What's going to happen over here with the harpies? And Wood Elf, turn 2. So 1 charge to declare in the Wood Elf movement phase. This Great Eagle is charging the Dark Riders. I am declaring fire and flee because I gave them the upgrade, so why not? I say why not because might die. It's a 14-inch range. Did we just measure? My short-term memory is terrible. My shooting is in all directions. It's -1 for standing and shooting, plus the range, plus multiple shots. So I still need 6s to hit you. Hit you twice. Strength 3, toughness 4, so 5s. Nope. Okay, and I am going to run away with Swift Stride. I'm going to run away 8 inches. So I've run away and ended up here. I've taken my dangerous terrain test for going into the cover. No casualties there. I am now 20 odd inches away, which is more than the maximum charge range of the Eagle. 10 for fly, +6, +3 for Swift Stride. So it is a failed charge. So you roll the dice and you will move forward the highest dice rolled. So you will move forward 4 inches. So the Eagle ends up here before they rear up and realise that these cowardly sausages have run away. No tasty morsel today. So at the end of the movement phase, it's getting interesting. So the Eagle has ended up here from the failed charge. There was much discussion about what best to do with these Glade Guard, whether to turn around 180 and fire into the Harpies, but then that'd be moving and shooting at a skirmishing unit. Would it be enough to force a charge? Discussion, do you move forward to make the charge longer? They are quick ski, so maybe not. Maybe the best use of those is to try and put as much damage into the unit of City Guard as possible. Equally over here, discussion about whether or not to deploy the Hail of Doom arrow yet. But no, getting the Eternal Guard into position for later turns, keeping the Glade Guard still ready to shoot at the Black Ark Corsairs. But barring a clean sweep of shots, you will not be able to make that unit take a break test. So it's whittling rather than panicking. Having said that, I have once seen years ago 5 Grots kill 5 Terminators. So, you never know. You never know. Here was quite a surprise. This Eagle marching down the centre. It's got its eyes on this, the Reaper Bolt Thrower. So I know where that's shooting next turn. And next turn it'll be in half range. And maybe there might be a wizard firing at it as well. Who knows? But it all depends what happens over here. The Sisters of Thorn have come around the corner in range with their Blackbriar javelins. Not obviously charging this turn. They've just moved. And their Deepwood Coven, their elemental spell, which does some damage. But they are also near a wizard who could attempt to dispel it. So this promises to be interesting. This is all really kind of spread out. Okay, kicking off the shooting phase with a magic missile spell. Which one was it again?
Wind Blast.
Wind Blast. Okay, casting value?
Casting value 8.
8. Okay, so these guys, because they have a champion and a banner bearer, they count as being a power level 2 bound spell. So you need a total of 8 with +2 on these dice. That's 9, 10, 11. So that's cast on 11 unless I can dispel it. She's a level 1 wizard, so I need to roll 11 +1 would be 12. That's nearly, but not close enough. Okay, so what does the spell do?
D3 +3 strength, so 6 strength 5 hits of AP1.
Okay, so they are strength 5 versus toughness 3, so they will wound on 2s. I am only wearing light armour, so they will go straight through and kill on 2s.
Ooh, nasty. That is 6 dead.
6 dead, okay. Oof, that hurt. And I have to give ground as well, so I've moved back. But that was all shooting coming in at once, so we're measuring from the original distance, which is 4 Blackbriar javelins at long range. And you did move, but you don't suffer a penalty for moving with those javelins. So it's just -1. Ballistic skill's 5, so these are going to hit on 3s.
Yeah, 5 and then 6. Ballistic skill 6 on the for the champion.
So he's also going to hit on 2s.
Just the one, but it is poisoned.
Okay, so save of a 6. Yay! But on the other hand, that's definitely a panic test.
From the ridiculous to the sublime.
Which I have absolutely failed. So I'm going to flee directly away from the unit that caused the casualties that far. So a 6-inch flee puts me halfway through the bolt thrower, so I carry on till I get to the other side of it. That bolt thrower has now been fled through. So the crew of the Reaper bolt thrower might panic and need 8 or less. That's a fail.
I really wish I'd planned this.
I mean, I accidentally caught that on camera, but I'm leaving it there now. Yeah. So the Reaper bolt thrower is going to run directly away from the Eagle because that's the nearest enemy unit. But it's a war machine. It's -1 to run. That looks like about 5. So as long as I keep it below 6, so that's run off the table. That's run off the table. So if she lives through this, there are going to be some serious blood sacrifices later on, and make no mistake. Still your go. Right, what else? What's shooting next?
Right, archers from here into these guys.
Okay. 4s and a 3 and 4s, same as last time.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
3 poisoned.
3 poisoned and an
armor bane. Okay, so the armor bane saves. Haha. 3 poison saving on 5s. You only kill 1.
Oh.
So one of those dies.
Numbers averaged out, thankfully.
Yes, indeed. And it's these Glade Guard also shooting up here?
Yes. So I need another 3 dice.
Yeah, total of 8. 5 from the front rank and then half the rear ranks. So 8, and you're over halfway. So you're at -1. So it's the same as before. 3 on the unit leader and 4s on the others. And because you did not move, you have no penalty for that. Okay. Here we go.
There we go.
There we go. 2. Wounding on 4s.
1 and 1 armor bane.
Okay, armor bane will save on a 6. Yes! Cracking armor, Gromit. And the other one will save on a 5. No, he caught a second one.
Oddly, the armor banes seem to have done worse.
Yeah, weirdly. Weirdly. Okay, now you've got these 5 shooting into the...
Corsairs.
whatever. Yes, these ones. Okay, you need to kill 4 for a panic test.
I'm on my way.
Okay, so you've hit 4 times, 2 of which are poisoned. And you've wounded once, so that's a maximum of 3. Yeah. Was one of those an armor bane?
No armor banes.
Okay. Right, they have light armor and sea dragon cloaks, which means I'm saving on 5s. 2 die. So that's the end of Wood Elf turn 2. There's some carnage in the ranks at the moment. Things are fleeing left, right, and centre. Although I am nicely set up for the harpy charge over here. I've potentially got position for next turn with these guys, and if I can rally them, they will be able to shoot, and maybe, just maybe, they can do something to that eagle. You have a problem. Right, first off, 8 or less. Do these guys rally? They do. 8 or less on the Dark Riders. Do they rally? They do not. They keep going. We're not going to use Swift Stride. We keep going 8. So having rallied, I've taken the opportunity to perform a reform. So I've extended my rank to full length. Basically, they know she's going to sacrifice them later on. And they're forming a full rank to shoot at the eagle. Now, we've just checked the rules. So they cannot charge this turn, but they can otherwise act as normal. So they could move and they can shoot. So we're going to try and take that eagle down. And I've got my remaining moves now. I'm going to try and take that eagle down with the Corsairs once we get to the next phase. Yes, I need to decide whether I'm charging over here or whether I'm shooting. And the Harpies are most definitely charging the Glade Guard, yes. Because, I mean, your rear arc, you can't declare stand and shoot. You could flee and run away from me and hope that you outrun me, but if I do catch you, you will die.
I think I'll stay where I am.
Stay where you are. Very wise. Okay, so I am Swift... I think I'm right in saying I'm Swift Stride. Well, that's 16. That's plenty, even without the Swift Stride. But it's... yeah, it's lots. It's lots. And the Harpies have ended up here. These metal wings making it super difficult to rank up. So this is our first time really using skirmishers on the channel. Every model that it can make the range for base-to-base contact fills a front rank getting base-to-base contact. So the 5 models with the frontage and then 1 each on the corners. So 7 to the 5 and then 3 form up the rear rank. And if that made sense... I think, did that make sense? I don't know. Maybe it didn't. So at the end of the movement phase, the Corsairs have moved, getting their hand bows ready, their hand crossbows to shoot at the eagle. The Harpies have made the charge back here. We've actually connected a combat. I was apprehensive as to whether we would go all game without doing that. The City Guard in the centre have marched, getting position for next turn, hopefully going to run down those archers. Who knows what will happen because they are blocking the charge path for those Eternal Guard. So, interesting to see what happens there. The Sorceress has moved back here behind the unit, which means she's okay because as long as she's not the nearest unit for enemy fire, but any casualties on this end, and that's a problem. I didn't want to run her because I do want to cast her spell again. Yes! Right. Shooting! Okay, we're going to kick off with Doombolt, casting at the Sisters of the Thorn. Need an 8. That's 8 plus 1, 9. You can try a Fated Dispel on a 10 plus.
I will.
No need to use Hecatore's Blessing on that, because well, you can't because it's a failed. And that's a 10, so that has dispelled it. That has dispelled it. That's not happening. That is a problem. They are a problem. I need to get some gun on them, but without being murdered and running away. Now the City Guard crossbowmen into the eagle. Got 10 in that front rank, 2 shots each, -1 because I moved, -1 for multiple shots. This is 20 shots hitting on 5s. Drop dice don't count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strength 3, toughness 4, wounding on 5. These are no save, do they?
Yeah, no saves.
Wounding on 5s. 2. It has 1 wound remaining. Nothing else can be done about that. She hasn't got a ranged weapon and she's already used her spell. Couldn't see through there to do the spell against him anyway. These guys are fleeing, so they can't shoot. So, yeah, that happened. Right, over here. So now the Black Ark Corsairs are firing their repeater hand crossbow, their hand crossbows, repeater hand crossbows at the other giant eagle. There's 2 of them more than half range, so they're going to hit on 5s. The others, these are quick shots. They don't suffer a penalty for moving, just for multiple shots. So there's 2 guys with 2 shots each that are going to hit on 5s. No hitting there. The rest with 2 shots each are going to hit on 4s. So 5 hits. Strength 3, toughness 4, wounding on 5s. I can get 2 again, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yep, 2 again. Yep. Both eagles have been thoroughly whittled, but both still very much alive. Okay. Fired. No gun. Running. Combat. It's Harpies versus Elves. So I get +3 to my initiative for charging, but you get Elven reflexes for your first turn. I think we need to consult some books. This is the first time this has happened. So Harpies are initiative 5. With the +3 for the charge, that makes them initiative 8. With the Elven reflexes, the Glade Guard are 5, so the Harpies are going first. 2 attacks each for the front rank. Weapon skill 3 versus 4, hitting on 4s. 6. Strength 3, toughness 3. 4s. 3 saves.
No armour.
No armor. Oh, no AP, but no armor. Okay.
Right, how does this work? Do I just take out 3?
I think you still take 3 from the back. We need to check this. Okay, so having read up what we think, and please internet tell us if we are wrong about this and give us a page reference to point us in the right direction. Please, thank you. Because you're being attacked in the rear of the unit, if it was being attacked in the front, you'd kill the front model and the one behind it would step forward to take its place. But because we're killing the ones in the back, they haven't got ones behind them to step into the back, into place. So I think we're doing that right, but please do say if you know different. So 2 Glade Guard attacking back. Weapon skill 4 hitting on 3s. 1 hit. Strength 4, strength 3, toughness 3, wounding on a 3. That kills 1. So that's 1 dead Harpy. So combat result. The Harpies killed 3 and are attacking in the rear with a unit strength of 5 or more, which gives +2. So the Harpies got a total of 5. We don't disrupt the Glade Guard. Not that it matters because they have no ranks, but skirmishers can't disrupt units when attacking in the flank or the rear. The Glade Guard killed 1 in return. They're open order, so no bonus for that. No standard. So the Glade Guard have lost by 4. So it's leadership at -4.
So under 4 then? No, by quite a bit.
That's 11. That's higher than your natural leadership, so you flee forward. 2d6. I will pursue, and I will pursue using Swift Stride.
I will go 5.
I go 9. 2. So I catch you, however far you went.
Yeah, so I went 5.
Okay, so I catch you and I can attempt to reform, but I'm skirmishers, so there's no point in reforming, so I end up 5 inches further forward, I think. So the Harpies end up here. And that is the end of Dark Elf turn 2. Let's see what the Wood Elves can do in response in turn 3. So we're at the start of turn, and there has been much discussion and tactical options. If this eagle charges into the Black Ark Corsairs, they will stand and shoot, and they have quick shot, and the eagle will most likely die. If this eagle flies into the crossbowman, because its move is 10, I cannot stand and shoot against it because I am within 10 inches, because fly 10 is a big deal with that. However, it coming in here might not wipe them out, it might not run, and blocks off the shooting for those Glade Guard and the shooting for these Stag Guard.
Sisters of the Thorn.
Thank you! Thank you!
It's the only unit that's not a guard.
Hooray! They are out of maximum charge range by a Dark Elf shoe's length. So they would effectively be neutralised this turn. So the plan, as I understand it, Mr. Wolf Corgi, sir, is to position these eagles for charging next turn, get them out of charge arcs for reciprocal charges, because they're only on 1 wound. Try and put as much shoot and hurt into that unit as possible, and then put shoots into here, put shoots into there, and kind of ignore them and the Harpies for next turn, and they become a problem for later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so unbelievably, or seemingly unbelievably, 0 charges on turn 3. This really is a manoeuvre and shoot game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So at the end of the movement phase, it looks like this. The Sisters of the Thorn only moving, not taking advantage of their ability to march and shoot, because if they do that, they can't use their bound spell, which they very much want to, because it was super effective last time. The Eagles have ended up here. The Glade Guard have moved forward, and the Eternal Guard have manoeuvred right a bit, left a bit, forward a bit, in order to put a Hail of Doom into these City Guard. So, where are we starting the shooting, sir?
Let's start here and move around.
Okay. So, we're starting with Wind Blast. Casting value 8. That's 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. I'm going to try a Wizardly spell. Why would I not? 10 plus 1, 11. Not enough. I needed... 9 plus 2 is definitely 11, isn't it? Have I got my mathematics right there? Right. That's a shame. Okay, cast by 1.
So D3 plus 3 hits for 5.
Strength 5, killing on 2s again. Yeah. Okay, 3 dead. Then the javelins.
2 miss, 1 poisoned.
And roll to win with the other one.
No.
1 save of 6 plus. No, kills a 4th one. So I lost 4. I had to give ground because of the wind blast. And now I need a panic test because that's more than 25%. 7, pass. No panic. Through a slight quirk of fate, the wind blast, having pushed them back 2 inches, has taken them 1.5 inches out of range of the Glade Guard. So I'm going to count that as a win. Sorry. I very much feel like the underdog at the moment, so I'm going to take that. Okay, I have a horrible feeling you're about to use the phrase Hail of Doom.
I am indeed about to use the phrase Hail of Doom.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you just roll to hit with it. If you hit, you place the template. There's no scattering, anything like that. Now he moves.
He's got a ballistic of 7, I think.
Right, we need the book. So ballistic skill of 6 or higher gives you a re-roll. So ballistic skill 7 is 2 plus to hit with a re-roll of 5 plus. So my read of this is it's 2 plus to hit, but of course it is -1 for having moved. So the 2 is a miss. So the re-roll of a 5. But is that -1 as well? Hang on, more reading. I read more. It only applies to the first roll, so it needs a 5.
No.
Your Hail of Doom. Maybe he pulled up at the last minute from firing it, seeing the eagles closing in on the city guard, and he's overshot it and peppered this ruin with the Hail of Doom arrow. Maybe they were not part of his plan.
No.
Unlucky. How many points are they?
About 30.
Oh, that would have been so nasty. They were all strength 4 hits at -1. Yeah,
it was
that was a crucial part of it. But that might be the pinion on which this pivots.
It really could.
It really could.
This unit then into the Corsairs.
Corsairs, okay. They moved, but then probably not in half range. Oh, 16 inches is half range.
They're within half, so yeah.
Okay, so just -1 for having moved, so 3s and 4s again. 3.
Yes, and no poison this time. But 2 armor bane, 1 normal.
Okay, so the 2 armor banes on 6s. 2 die. The 1 normal on a 5 lives. Killed 2. Not enough to panic. So that's the end of Wood Elf turn 3. There was a manoeuvring and shooting turn, and the Hail of Doom didn't. Yeah. So I now need to think about what I'm going to do in my turn. Whether I use these guys to try and put some hurt over there, whether I try and plink an eagle. These guys have got quick turns, so I could charge further up, or I could turn and shoot one of the eagles. Do I reform and accept the other eagle coming behind me? Harpies. Do I go into the Glade Guard? I could put those guys into the Glade Guard. And then, I could go into the Glade Guard and then maybe overrun into the... but I'd be on the side of the Glade Guard. And he's thinking, there needs to be thinking and considering and stuff. Right, we're at the end of the movement phase. The Harpies charged into the Glade Guard. They had loads... Didn't do it on camera because they could not fail. The Corsairs have made a quick turn and are going to shoot this eagle. The crossbowmen have turned through turned through half and moved forward to shoot at this eagle. The sorceress has backed up and is going to put a doom bolt in over here. The warriors at their city guard have moved forward to line up for a future fight. There were loads of permutations. I spent ages scratching my head, and it's nearly midnight, so we're going with it. We're going with it. Right, so shooting. Let's see if we can kill some eagles. Right, Corsairs are over half range. Hit on 5s. 3. Wounding on 5s. Need one of them. 3. 3 6s. That eagle right now. That eagle might cause panic in that eagle because that was entirely destroyed from shooting. So that eagle might panic. And it's because it was within 6 inches of it.
8. I think it's 5. Oh, I don't actually know what Eagle's leadership is like.
So that is a fail. It will run 2 inches away from the nearest unit, which might bring me into close range. So, and it'd be rude not to. I'm now going to fire the crossbowman at the eagle. 12 shots hitting on 5s. Through 4. Just need a 6. Strength 3, toughness 4. 1 6 will do it. 5 or 6, I should say. 2. I guess the eagle. Now the sorceress casting Doombolt. So that would be a miscast. However, I can use Hecatare's blessings to re-roll 1 failed cast per game. 6 plus 1, 7. I think I needed 8 for Doombolt. I needed 8. No Doombolt. They're going to just munch through my entire flank. Fired. Combat. Okay, so I've got... There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be 7. We should have been able to get 7 into base to base there. It's because of the wings. Let's just nudge one of these back ones onto the end because it's 5 lining up 25 to 25 mil bases and 2 on the corners. It's just the wings that make that awkward. So again, it's 14 attacks hit on 4s. 8. Strength 3, toughness 3. Yeah. 4s. 1, 2, 3.
So 3 die.
And 2 get to fight back. 2 get to fight back. Hitting on 3s. 1 hit, running on a 4. 1 wound. That kills a harpy. I'm not in the rear this time, so that is... I won by 2, so it's -2 to your leadership.
7, 8, 9. Oh, that's a fail.
That's a fail, but it's your leadership is
8.
8. So you fall back in good order rather than fleeing.
Right.
So it's 2d6. You fall back the highest 5 inches. We now need to see how that interacts with coming into contact with.
Just going to go into them.
With them. I think you might be fleeing through them.
Yeah. So out the other side.
Yeah. So the 2 survivors end up here. Now the Eternal Guard don't need to make a break test for a nearby ally losing combat because they have to be a unit strength of 5 or more for that, but they have been fled through. So they do need to take a panic test for that.
9.
Which they pass. That's definitely within the Lord's leadership. And I am chasing down with Swift Stride, the follow-up. That's 3 inches plus Swift Stride is 8. So I contact... Am I on the front or the side? Most of my models are on the front by the looks of things. So I move 8 to contact the front. So the Harpies end up here in combat with the Eternal Guard next turn, having counted as charged. Well, that spun. That really spun. Then again, depends what the Eternal Guard can do. Let's find out as we go into Wood Elf turn 4. So first off, rallying those Glade Guard. 6. Yes, they reform where they are.
Right.
And can act normally, but may not charge. So these Glade Guard shuffling out the way just in case the Eternal Guard needs some space to back up. These Glade Guard, now that I moved these forward, didn't think of that, are now back in range of the arrows. And the Sisters of the Thorn are coming up here. Now, a nice little niggle here. She's only protected as a lone character if she is within 3 inches of a unit with a strength of 5 or more. That's got a unit strength of 6 at the moment. If they kill 2 of them, then the Sisters of the Thorn can target the sorceress. And she's my general. I'm worth extra points. So, where are we starting with the shooting?
Right, we'll do it the right way around this time. We'll start with the Glade Guard.
Okay. They didn't move. They are over half range, so 3 and 4s.
Right.
2 no poison. Force to wound. You need both.
No.
No. No, okay.
Right.
So everything into the crossbowman?
Yep. So casting the spell first on an 8. Ooh, 10, 11, 12.
12. Okay, I'll try a dispel. If I get double 6, it's dispelled. Nope. It's 11. I've come so close each time.
Yes. So that is the full 6.
Okay, killing on 2s. I mean, ouch.
3 dead.
3 dead, okay. That kills those 3. Then 3 javelin.
So those 2 definitely miss. Those hit.
They can move. Well, you're in half range. Oh no, you're over half range. Yes, sorry. Yeah,
half range. So 4s. 2.
-2.
-1.
-1 kills 2.
Just the champion.
Now, if he was dead as well, this unit would be wiped out from shooting, and she would need to take a panic test. If he fails, he's going that way. She won't panic. But he's good. He's good. Remove that unsightly movement tray. So the Lord is first because he has strikes first. 4 attacks, weapons got 7, hit on 2s. 2 hits, strength 5, killing on 2s. That's 2 harpies dead. Right, the harpies going next on initiative 8. 5 can attack. Hitting on 4s because we're targeting the unit, not the general. Strength 4, toughness 4. Strength 3, toughness 3, needing 4s is what I meant to say. 3 saves.
Any,
Nope.
So it's 5 ups. Ooh,
Hey, well done. Okay, kills 1. So 1 cannot fight back, which means you've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 7 plus your champion.
So, champion's got 2 attacks.
So 9 attacks. Your weapon was higher than mine, so you can hit me on 3s. 4 hits. Strength 3, toughness 3, 4s.
1.
1 kills 1 more harpy. But you have got this. Because you've killed 3. You've got a banner for 4. You've your close order for 5. And you've got 2 ranks for 6, 7. I killed 1. I've lost by 6. That's as faily as fail can get. So I'm going to run away with Swift Stride. Now I'm going to end up going straight backwards through my through the city guard, but skirmishers do not cause panic if they flee through friendly units. So I'm going to run 11, 12 inches. So the Eternal Guard overrunning for a total of
2.
2. Okay.
How are you not keen to get stuck in?
Not that keen. They sort of chased down the harpies and I see that big block of guard. Whoa! Which is English for stop or horse. Right. So no panic there, no panic there. We dealt with that. That's the end of your turn 4.
Yeah.
Dark Elf turn 4. Do the harpies rally? No! They keep running. 11. Or flying anyway. Right, out of the Dark Elf movement phase. The harpies fell back, didn't take any dangerous terrain, didn't die to dangerous terrain. The sorceress and the lordling have moved up this way. Going to put some shots into there. Try Doombolt. See what happens. The city guard have backed off. We want to receive the charge, not give it, because we get extra ranks. We don't want you having the extra ranks. We want the extra ranks. The Corsairs turning quarter in place for half their move. Moving forward 2.5. We're going to unload our pistols at the Eternal Guard. see what we can do to them. But first off, let's see if we can Doombolt you. 9 plus 1, 10. Okay. You're going to dispel it. I know you are. No, you're not. Okay, it goes off. The template goes in the centre of the unit. Potentially all 4 hit on 4s. It's hit 3 of them. Strength 3 with... Or was it strength 4 with no armour? One moment, I need to consult the card. Strength 3 at AP minus 2. So 4s to wound. 1.
Fine.
Ward save. Okay. Then this guy. 5s. Or is it 4s? Short range and move multiple shots is 5s. 3 to wound. 4 to wound even. Right, another ward save.
Again.
Oh, would you please fail a ward save?
Yeah.
See ya. Right. Pistol shots. 5s into Eternal Guard. 16 shots. Hit on 5s. 7 hits. Winning on 4s. 2. No AP. 2 saves of 5 plus.
Fail on both.
Okay, killed 2. Not enough for a panic test, which is unfortunate. That's my go. Your turn 5.
Right.
So, charges have been declared. There is only one. The Eternal Guard into the Corsairs. I'm standing and shooting with my bows. Hitting on 5s. Wounding on 4s. 3. Saves a 5 plus. Kills 1. That's not enough to do anything. Okay. 2d6 plus your move. Well, the highest of 2d6 plus your move.
4.
4 and 5 is 9. Now you have to wheel to get contact. How close are they? What's the actual distance between them?
The actual distance is 9.
Right, then
I'm
you
going to fail, aren't I?
fail that charge. Because you have to wheel to try and line up to them.
Yeah.
So you're going to move 4, but you're going to move 4 as if you were charging here. So you'll need to do that wheel first.
So let's...
Because you can't go straight forward because you
Yes.
wouldn't connect the unit.
Yeah, wheel 2 and then forward
2.
2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yowzers. Okay. Remaining moves. Right, at the end of movement, the Eternal Guard ended up here. Those Glade Guard have stayed still to put a couple of shots here into the City Guard. Those Glade Guard have moved forward 5 and have got into range of this guy for some redundancy, as these guys are going to put all their oomph into the Sorcerer, try and kill my General. He might break and flee anyway. But if not, he will hopefully be brought down by the fire from those Glade Guard. So where are we starting?
Might as well start with the Glade Guard. I've got the dice here.
Okay, one can't see. So take one of the non-champs out.
Right, so that is a poisoned, and then that'll be a hit. That'll be a miss because it's moved and long range.
Okay, the poisoned one needs to wound on a 4 plus.
It does, so that is
2 saves of no. Right, so he dies. She makes a panic test, which she passes. I mean, in many ways, she'd have lived longer if she'd panicked and run off the board.
Right, let's try the Wind Blast again. Goes off an 11.
Oh, man, right, I need 12 to try and dispel it.
Oh!
11 on the dice, 12 results, still casts. 3, strength 5. You need to get 2 of these to kill her. She's only got 2 wounds. That is that's general.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 2 shots into here.
Yeah. Both miss.
Hooray! Because you know something? That's absolutely the way around I would have wanted it. Oh, dear. Right, my turn 5?
Your turn 5.
My turn 5, okay. Do the Harpies rally? Ooh, maybe yes. So I'm applying the ancient Dark Elf tradition of cowardice. Or they're bullies, Dark Elves, and bullies are cowards. So the Harpies are moving well away from those things. They're dangerous. Positioning maybe for next turn. The Black Ark Corsairs do not want to get close to that Lord, but they're now in super close shoot range, so they can fire all their guns. And when I get charged, because I have quick shot, I can stand and shoot and fire them all again. These guys are safe. There's not much damage these guys can do to them next turn because of the range. They're out of line of sight of those guys. So it's basically, we've just been chatting, it comes down to how much damage can I do to them in a couple of turns of shooting, and depending on who gets charges, who might flee, etc., etc. So, shooting. 16 shots, hitting on 4s. Hitting on 4s, winning on 4s. It does, of course, require some hitting. 6 hits. 5 wounds. 5 saves or 5 plus. Make 3 of them. 2 die, okay. That's the end of my turn. Your turn 6.
Right, these 2 units are effectively out of the game, so it'll be a charge here.
Okay, stand and shoot. So I will do this again. Except it is 5s this time. Three.
2 more.
Okay, so the shooting phase, those 2 Glade Guard fired here did nothing. We're now on to combat. Strikes first is your general. Hitting on 3s. Missed twice. Strength 5, toughness. Toughness elf. So they both hit and wound. 2. I already have a 6-up save, so that gets through my save. So both of those dead. So you've got 4 guys in your front rank who are at +3 initiative. One of which is the champion.
So
what's their weapon skill?
weapon skill is 5.
5, so they will hit on 3s.
So they'll hit.
Their strength with their weapon? I don't know if they've got if they're stick special.
No, it's just a spear.
Just a thrusting spear.
So 1 wound.
1 wound. Good job, we checked that. It's Elf Spear. You get fighting extra ranks and you get 1 extra AP. So you've got another 5 attacks to do. Hitting on 3s. So that's 3 more. Strength 4. 3. So, get 1 straight through. I have 7 in base to base. 3 have died. So I've got 4, 1 of which is a champion. So that's 5. Hitting on 4s. 4. Wounding on 4s. 1 regular save.
No.
So that kills 1 as well. Okay. So you killed 3. You've got a banner, your close order, and you have a rank. So that's a total of 6. I killed 1. I've got a banner. I've lost by 4. That's a super fail. Are you going to pursue?
Oh, yes.
You are going to pursue. Okay. Right, I run 7 inches.
6.
You don't catch me.
They are not keen on getting stuck in.
No. However, before we move them, they're within 6 inches here. Do the city guard panic? They panic and run directly away from the nearest enemy, which is there. And they're going to run 10 inches through this dangerous terrain. So I'm going to need 22 dangerous terrain tests there. Right. So we'll come on to that in a second. Let's measure to see if I clip the harpies with my running corsairs. This great plan I had was awful. Okay, so the corsairs are broken. The harpies haven't been run off. The Eternal Guard are chasing them down. Not quite a direct line with a little bit of nudging because of the scenery, but 2 died in here. So as we go into my turn 6, the final turn of the game, I've got 2 units routing. So let's see if they rally. So, do the Corsairs rally? No. They keep running. So they're going to run 4 inches through the harpies, who will panic and run off. These guys, 10, they fail. So my entire army is broken at the end of turn 6, which means they all count as destroyed. So you get 999 points for killing everything in my army, plus 100 points for the general. Well done, sir! Woohoo! So at the end of turn 6, we came here searching easy human prey to fill the bellies of our slave ships to take back to the Dark Elf, to the Dark Prince in our kingdom. We found the humans had long since moved out, and our distant kin have thoroughly seen the Dark Elves off with their tails between legs. You know what it is? We don't hate you enough. Yeah. We hate High Elves, and we don't like you, but not quite enough. So your general's still alive, didn't take any banners, killed 2 eagles and a unit. I think I got about 300 points. Because they're not terribly expensive. Your general's quite expensive. That unit of Eternal Guard. Yeah. So, post-match analysis. I definitely made a mistake there deciding not to charge in, because I could have had everyone in the combat. I could have had multiple things going on. But then again, these are 2 core units, and you had quite a chunky guy in there, and that's quite relative to these, quite an elite unit. So I don't know, but I should have twigged the fact that they were going to get routed, and that was going to cause this unit to break. And I didn't have anything really to stop them breaking. I wanted to give these guys the Pearl of Infinite Bleakness, but I didn't have a character to put with them, because that makes them immune to panic. The Harpies, legends. The crew of the ship that's moored just off the coast, they did quite well. They were nice and manoeuvrable, lots of crossbow shootage. They were fun. City Guard, I did nothing. Maybe did I do nothing with them, and that's why they did nothing? I was holding them back the whole game, but that's because I don't think they're very good. Maybe I need to get them stuck in a bit more before I decide they're not very good. Yes, I need to do that. I'm doing them a disservice. I need to do more with them.
Well, we had 2 sort of large blocks of spearmen facing off for most of the game without actually getting engaged.
Yeah, we did. And that combat has illustrated to me that it was the right move not to get involved with them, because they're a lot harder.
Yeah, I didn't think they were actually that much better than your spearmen.
Yeah, the extra attacks on the charge is really good.
Well, I played a game, my first game.
This is only your second game, isn't it?
Second game, yeah. I played my first game without giving the Lord any magical items, and that was definitely a mistake. Not having any, just having strength 4 and no AP.
You were playing Toon Kings, weren't you? Yeah. You weren't. I think you were fighting Shabti as well. It really didn't work for you.
No.
But weirdly, we've had 2 armies very, very similar, very nippy, very movie, very shooty. No big blocks of combat. So we've kind of danced around each other a lot and not got into much of a fight. Very interesting from a game point of view. I'm still not so sure about the small units of those. I think them getting destroyed and running away could have cost you quite significantly. Not sure about the small units, especially when they've got volley fire and you could have a bunch of them together and firing in a big block and less likely to panic. Don't know.
It's getting the line of sight as well. Everything gets in each other's way.
Yeah. Well, we deliberately made this table a bit thicker with the line of sight because we knew we had quite shooty armies.
I think even with less terrain, it's your own troops getting in the way of shooting at what you want to shoot at. Also getting in the way of your shooting.
Yeah. So I think the reflection on my army is I need to bring a Manticore and War Hydra. I think that will... no. Need. Yeah. That was good. I think something... How many times did you get that spell off? And how many times did I get mine off? Or you passed all your wards?
They just mulched that whole flank on their own, really.
I know. 1 casualty. And I think he died to a crossbow. Never mind anything else.
Yeah.
Considering their toughness 3 with no save, How they're alive? Oh, yeah, the ward
The
saves.
ward saves you
Yeah,
get, I
yeah.
think it's a bit of it's a bit like 40k custodies, isn't it? If you can make 4-up saves, you're done.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, with the help of an eagle, just to scare the bolt thrower off, they took out that whole flank.
Yeah. Those eagles. Would you do anything differently with the eagles?
I don't know. They're not great when you get them into combat, and they can die quite easily back. I didn't ever quite... I'm not sure. I think they never actually got them into combat. I'm not sure if the positioning with them helped, just keeping you out of the way. Obviously, getting the bolt thrower to flee was very useful.
Yeah, because that was these guys. That wasn't the eagle. That was these guys routing the crossbowman that ran through the bolt thrower who legged it off.
But you legged it that way because you've been pressured by the eagle.
Oh, yes, of course, because the eagle was the nearest. Yeah.
I think the threat of the eagles is actually might be just as useful as what they actually do.
It is an interesting point because it being nearby, it being the nearest unit, means you can kind of, if you can preempt where your opponent might might panic, you can kind of steer them by putting eagles near them. Yeah.
I think it limited your movement at times as well.
It did, and I had to make some decisions about whether I was turning back and so on.
It's almost the threat of the unit is probably better than it itself, because as you see, it doesn't take that much to kill them. You perhaps got a little bit unlucky with some of your turns of shooting, not killing.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe, but my shooting is really different to yours. I've got lots of shots and I'm up close. You've got fewer shots, long range, more accurate. I'm spray and pray with my weapons.
Yeah.
Apart from the Reaper bolt thrower, which is less of a pray and spray weapon, but giant eagle and fleeing crossbowman. But I have actually got about 3.5k of these guys painted, so I'm looking forward to, in a bigger game where I've got some things that have got a bit more kick to them, like witches and the aforementioned Manticore and War Hydra and some cold ones, bigger units of Dark Riders so they don't panic and run away quite so easily. Yeah. Your reflections on your army?
I think I've got quite a nice little core to it. I don't know what I will add. Maybe some cavalry. Maybe some of the... I've got quite a lot of elves, so maybe some of the trees.
Yeah. There's I think the box of Glade Riders is quite good. I think you get 12 Glade Riders in a box. They can be quite a big cavalry block. I think maneuverability is good. But then again, the trees are quite hard in a fight. You've got... If I'd come at you with a couple of good punchy units, once that's gone, it's maybe falling apart time. But then again, that's just because you put a well-kitted out high-level character in with a reasonably fighty unit. My character was a wizard, so I didn't have any additional close combat punch. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, well, thank you very much for the game. It's lots of fun. We found some interesting new rules and a shooting game of old world, which is a bit bizarre. So shout out to all my channel members and Patreons. Thank you for your ongoing support. You guys are awesome. And big thank you to Mr. Wolf Corgi for coming out and playing with me this evening. And on that note, say bye, Wolf Corgi.
Bye, Wolf Corgi.
Bye.